Well, it looks like I've got a few things going on here. I'm in a condo, a nice little 2-bedroom condo. It's a vacation condo rental in Maui, and they asked me to come over here and take a look. And I've been doing all kinds of stuff over here. I got a whole little list here going, and I still have a few more things, but I wanted to show you just briefly a few different things. Yeah, you want to come out to Maui? Let me know and I might get you hooked up. Okay, now this is a nice mini blind setup, and these strings were all tied in a bunch and they had all kinds of knots. Last thing you want to do, and you've noticed all the knots have been undone, even on these nice tight nylon strings. You get a knot in there, it's hard to get them off. And trust me, it took me 45 minutes to an hour. Every single one of these was done. Look how you can tell that there were so many knots in here, and I've taken out all of the knots. See, all of the knots, because if you leave the knot, and if some kid is playing, you've got some children over, or even your kids, they playing around the blinds or something. If you get a knot in here, they could virtually slip on a chair or something, and you turn around and they're hanging from here. And that's the reason why years ago, you remember, they used to have blinds and this was a continuous one piece. Okay, well then something happened somewhere along the road, some state, some kid hung themselves, big old huge lawsuit. They changed the laws and said from now on, we're gonna have, even though this string is just one, you know, it goes up here, they've done it a different way now. Now they have two things here, that way no kid can ever hang themselves. Okay, unless you have knots in here. You go look at your mini blinds, and 9 out of 10 times, if you have not checked that lately, you might find that you got some knots in there. Okay, so I undid the knots. I also adjusted all these. These have a little plastic collar up here. You see that? There's a plastic collar that slides down that keeps the wand from falling off. Okay, but once you get that collar up, and who knows how the collars rise up, okay? Once you get the collar up, you're playing with this, kaboom, this falls off, it breaks, it snaps, it gets crooked, and all of a sudden you're like, what's going on with that? Well, that's because either your collar right here is cracked and removed, fell off, and you threw it away, or it just needs to be pulled down. So see, now I've slid that collar, it's just a little piece of plastic. I slid that collar all the way down to this, and now that won't come off. So I checked all those. I had to fix 5 or 6 of those here on this door. If you got the mini blinds, and it's held at the bottom. Sometimes these clips get bent, so I had to bend those over, fit them back up into there. Because in this one here, it's designed on the door. It's designed, if you have those hooks there, it's designed so that all you have to do is all you can do on this blind is twist it closed or twist it open. Okay, even though it's got the strings, you want to pull this up all the way. If you do, you have to loosen it up from down here. Okay, and it's pretty easy to do. Most people don't do that, but there's a hook right there. You just twizzle this here, slide it like that, and pull it down. Okay, see how it's flopping now? Now I can pull that up if I want to wash the windows or something. But it's just a real pain to keep doing that on the ones on the door. So if your blinds don't go down all the way, I grab it at the bottom and I pull on the chain and I make sure it's down all the way. I get this hooked. Make sure these get bent in just a little bit, so you got a little bit of a friction to hold them in. And I set them right back on there, hook it, flip that up flat. I can twizzle it flat, see, like that. And now I just have them open and closed like that. Okay, so I did that. Another thing on these blinds, more things on the blinds, yeah, more things can go wrong with these silly blinds. And see up here, this one, this is a valance trim, I call it. And some blinds have them, some don't. If you got them fit into the window, maybe you don't have this, you've just got the back piece. Okay, well, to take these off, you got to be real careful. You kind of pry up on these. In fact, since I'm doing this, let's just show you how that happens. I just push up on the top. Okay, it's spring loaded, kind of. It's plastic. And once I get it like that, I don't try to take the bottom. I don't try to get the bottom out because it's easier to push the top up. Once I get the two there, now I can push it up a little bit more. And this is just set here on the bottom pieces, and I can just lift it right off. Okay, this then clips on the back of your blind housing at the top. That's why when you have this on here, you don't want to try to push this and click it off. It cracks me up. Some of the cleaners around here, they try to push this all the way up, and then they break those off. So that's why I had to fix that. This one was held by one plastic clip, and it's like, where on earth do you go to buy the plastic clips? Okay, see how I put it back? I just set this on here, and I can line this up from left to right because it's got a little bit of a slop. And then I make sure I push it down, and I just kind of put a little pressure here, like that. And then it's gonna snap. See, I just do the same thing there. Even though this is a one continuous piece, it's got just enough movement to do that, and I can slide that over and adjust that if I want. Okay, and that's how you fix that. Well, you know, I only had one clip there, and then I had another one that was broken, and I only had one clip, and I had another one in another room, and I only had one clip. What do you do about extra clips? Well, in this room, see, this valance trim goes all the way across. There's actually two blinds here. There's one that stops right here, so the body of it just goes up to there, and then the body of the next one goes from there, and they butted it together, and then they had one continuous long valance. Isn't that kind of cool? That way you don't have to have just one, two valances butted up against each other. That would look kind of hokey. Okay, if you did that, you'd have to have a big gap in between there, and then you're going to have more of a gap in between your blinds right there. Okay, so order your blinds the proper way, and you won't have that problem. Well, see the clips here? I've got 3 on here holding that. Well, this one initially had 4 clips. It had one there, one here, and one over here. What I did is I took this off, and then I had to take the clip off because it was over here, and there was a divider here, so I had to carefully pry that up, move that over. I had to take this one off and move it over to here. I couldn't just slide it because there's little dividers in here that kind of support all the tops. So I put that one in the middle, I slid this one over here, and now that top valance is still installed properly. It looks fine, there's no bows in it or anything like that, and I took the extra clip, and zingo, I had an extra clip for over here. Okay, well, I was still short one clip, wasn't I? Well, I just fortunately had, here's another set of double windows, had 4 clips up there. I took one of the clips off, so see, now there's only 3 clips there. See, there's one there, one in the middle, one off to the right, and I took that extra clip and I fixed the other valance over here. Okay, all kinds of stuff you can do to fix certain things. You just have to kind of think about it. Hey, what would Joe do? How would Joe get that fixed? Okay, what else did I do? Well, I had some cut-in boxes that were loose.